The United States of America has delivered bad news to Ruto. Before we look into that, let's borrow some words of wisdom from Samora Machel, former president Mozambique. If one day you hear the Europeans press me, know that I have betrayed you, said Samora Machel, former president of Mozambique. Those remarks by Samora Machel have been quoted widely. And if only you look at what is happening in Kenya, then these remarks comes to life. The West has been pressing William Ruto seriously. And that's something that everybody knows. And as the West has been pressing Ruto, back home Kenyans felt betrayed. And that's what led to Kenyans, the Gen Zs, occupying parliament for the first time in Kenya's history. So it's true. If the West presses you, you have betrayed your people. And we have confirmed that in a William Ruto's regime. Ruto has been very desperate to please the West. And I'm not blaming William Ruto for that. Ruto knows he never won 2022 presidential election. He was just trying to please his masters. But the problem now here, his masters are not interested in William Ruto succeeding. They want to destroy him. And already they have laid out a strategy to destroy him. I'm seeing a high possibility where if this protest continue, then the West will abandon Ruto. They will dump him. They'll say he has now lost touch with his people. They'll abandon him. Now let's have a look at the message coming from America. United States President Joe Biden's administration reached out to President William Ruto moments after he withdrew the Finance Bill 2024. The call was made by the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who spoke of the need for Kenyan security agencies to avoid using excessive force while restraining protesters. Considering withdrawal of the bill meant Kenya would not be able to raise over Kenya shillings 300 billion, Blinken and Ruto also spoke of the economic prospects of the country. In a call with Kenyan President Ruto, Secretary Blinken emphasized the importance of reducing tensions and ensuring security services demonstrate restraint and refrain from violence, Miller revealed in a statement. The U.S. will remain steadfast partner of Kenya's government and people as they address economic challenges. During a separate press briefing, Blinken remarked that the U.S. was in possession of evidence that Kenyan security officers used excessive force on protesters. We have seen well-documented reports of violence against protesters, and what we have said is in our conversation with Kenyan government is that they should use non-lethal methods and prevent civilian harm in dealing with peaceful protests, he remarked. The situation in Kenya also received attention from Congresswoman Ilan Omar, Minnesota's 5th District, and United States Ambassador to the United Nations, Linda Thomas Greenfield. Ambassador Greenfield remarked that it was unfortunate that violence was meted on protesters and live bullets were used by law enforcement officers when the Kenyan Constitution guaranteed the right to peaceful protests. No Kenyan should be put in harm's way while exercising their right to peaceful public assembly, she remarked. The use of deadly force against civilians exercising their democratic rights not only violates basic rights but also undermines Kenya's democratic foundations, he stated. Rep. Omar further criticized the austerity measures proposed by the International Monetary Fund (IMF) as having contributed to the hardships facing most Kenyans. These measures often disproportionately affect the most vulnerable populations and can exacerbate social unrest, Omar spoke of the IMF. The congresswoman, who traces her roots to East Africa, remarked that she stood in solidarity with protesting Kenyans. Blinken is saying they have well-documented evidence that Ruto's government used excessive force on innocent, peaceful demonstrators. So they are indicting Ruto's government over the kills. And yesterday, we also saw Kenyans chanting in Hague, Netherlands, that Ruto's cases should be revived. The crimes against humanity cases should be revived. And even America now is saying they have documented evidence that the police use excessive force on innocent, peaceful demonstrators. What's happening here, ladies and gentlemen? If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give the video a like. Let's proceed. What's happening here, ladies and gentlemen? It's true America is weighing its options. If they see Ruto is becoming unpopular, they'll easily abandon him and they'll support his opponents. And it's the same America and the Western countries that have made William Ruto very unpopular in Kenya. To a point, William Ruto is even sending Kenya's police officers to Haiti. That's something that Ruto broke the record on that. Haiti is not even Kenya's neighbor or an African country. There are countries surrounding Haiti, but they saw no need of taking a lead role in Haiti matters. Ruto here, na kimbelembele yake, he is sending our troops to Haiti. These are the issues annoying Kenyans. And the earlier Ruto realizes that, the better. The issue of sending Kenyan police officers to Haiti will work against Ruto. It will augur negatively for him. I'm very sure a day will come when William Ruto will regret that move of sending Kenyan troops to Haiti. If you look at the protests ongoing, all these things have been building slowly by slowly. And looking on how William Ruto still behaves, he's still creating a lot of animosity in the country. I've always maintained that if Ruto reaches 2027, he will be a very lucky person. And I'm saying that because it's clear, as time goes by, the situation is only but worsening. And in the next months coming, the situation will only be terrible. If Ruto will reach 2027 as Kenya's president, he will be a very, very lucky man. All indications are showing Ruto will either resign or he will be forced out as Kenya's president. And Kenyans should start taking these things very seriously. Nobody expected or even thought that a time will come when Kenyans will occupy parliament, a well-guarded place. Nobody expected that. And when I say Ruto reaching 2027, he will be a lucky man, I'm saying that based on what we are observing. As time goes by, the situation is only going to worsen as a result of corruption being perpetrated by Kenya Kwanza government. Yes, that's what I can say, ladies and gentlemen. Let me stop it there. If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give the video a like. Those watching us outside Kenya, drop a comment, let us know from which part of the globe you are watching us from. If possible, subscribe, give the video a like. Thank you. God bless you.